Okay, hello everybody, it's Ty here, all things archery and shooting. I got another bow review for you today. This is going to be on the Mark II Black Hunter bow. It's a 30-pound bow. I ordered this bow in for a customer of mine, and he's also one of my subscribers on my Patreon channel, and also for my regular YouTube channel. This is for RJ. So RJ, big shout out to you. This is the bow we're going to swap out. He wanted to swap me out a couple of custom knives for some bows and some arrows, so I agreed to the swap. I did a review on the knives not too long ago in here, so be sure to look for the review on those two custom knives. They're really nice. So we swapped out them two custom knives for a Black Hunter bow and a dozen arrows, which I think I got the better deal on that because I mean those knives are really nice. So just take a look at this Mark II bow on both. It looks like a Black Hunter bow. All right. Came from Amazon, as you can see. This bow shipped like $130, something like that. And let's see what we got in here. Okay. Set this off to the side. All right, first we got the bow limbs, which are right here. We got the riser. We got the accessory pack with all the goodies in it. We got the string and rest and the nocks. And we got a instruction book as well too, okay? Alright, let me go ahead and get you a close-up of this. Okay, this actually be the first time I've used a 30-pound bow. I usually don't shoot a 30-pound bow. Most of my bows are between 45 and 50 pounds, 55 pounds, and I got a 60 like my hunting weight bows. But RJ wanted a bow with 30 pounds because he's had some medical issues in the past and he can't pull more than that, so he wanted to get onto a 30-pound bow. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up for him. We'll get it tuned and we'll do some shooting on the range with it in part 2, see how it performs. I'll build some arrows for him as well. And then we'll get this checked out and see what a 30-pound Black Hunter bow can actually do. Should be a pretty good video. Take out the limbs. Alright. Now this is supposed to be a Mark II, which I think the only difference between the Mark II and the Mark I is instead of using bamboo in the core, it's using maple in the core, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but that's when I bought this, it said Mark II, and I couldn't see any. It looks identical to a standard Black Hunter. Only difference I saw in the description when I purchased this was that it said it had maple core limbs instead of bamboo core limbs. So I'm not sure if that's the correct way or what they called it, but this is a SinoArt Mark II. This is made by SinoArt, okay? SinoArt Black Hunter Mark II. And again, the only difference I saw was that it said it had the maple core instead of the bamboo core limbs. Radio looks pretty much the same. I don't see any difference on it, okay? Alright. Here's the instruction book that comes with it. Not too bad. Pretty simple. Alright. Let's take a look at this accessory pack, what's in here. Alright. Okay, so of course we've got some bow silencers. Got a nice bow stringer for it. It's a really nice bow stringer. It's got your Allen key right here. Okay. This is the string pack. It's got the nocks, the string, and the rest. Let's check that out. Now, this is also a D97 string. It's an endless loop string. The bow is 60 inches. Okay. 30 pounds at 28 inches. It's got a hair rest on there. I never use these hair rests, but there's one there. It's got a couple of nocks. And of course the string. It's a D97 endless loop string. So it's got one small and one large. This is the correct loop for a longbow. See how small that bottom loop is for the longbow? So that is crazy, and this is the top loop. So, all right. Let's check the limbs out. Okay, like I said, there's the same as your regular Black Hunter limbs, except these are maple core, not bamboo core. Same reinforced tip, so we'll take a fast flight. Pretty thin limbs, actually. I guess it is for being 30 pounds. I only see one layer of maple in there in the core. Normally these have 2 or 3. It only has one in this one. you know, one layer of laminate maple in there, and then you got your belly, your fiberglass on your back and your belly. It is a tapered limb, as you can see, so it tapers to the top, which gives a little more speed. And this one you see is 30 pounds, 28 inches. Okay, we have the riser. It's got felt on the riser with some locator pinholes, which line up with these holes here, so you get your good limb alignment. Okay. All right. Standard Allen key connections with a little plastic, which is nice. This is the plastic spacer to protect the limb. This handle feels a little bit heavier than your standard Black Hunter handle. Maybe it's just me, but it's dino. What do they call this wood? Dino wood or Dymo wood, something like that. It's basically a bunch of wood laminated together. You can see how the laminate's in this thing. It's several layers of laminate together and compressed, and then it's cut on a CNC machine. It does have radius riser, and it's diamond wood. I was trying to say diamond wood. Okay. Diamond wood's not a real true wood, but this wood is. It's several layers of different wood stacked on top and compressed and glued together. As you can see all the layers in there. All right, and it does have a radius rest. It is quite heavy. It's a little bit heavier than a standard Black Hunter, I would think. Maybe not. Looks the same. I mean, the finish on it is really nice. It's clean. It's a little bit different design in the handle. Not much, but a little bit. Okay. It's got a really nice. Real nice bowstringer with it. Okay. Let's get this thing set up now. See what it looks like. Check the draw weight on and everything else. I'll show you the arrows I'm built for this thing. We're going to use, he wants to use carbon arrows, so I went ahead and built some carbon arrows for this bow. Carbon arrows I built are a 700 spine. They're 30 inches long, and they have an 80 grain point on them, and they're 4-inch feather fletching. I'll show the arrows to you in a minute, but they look, I mean, they're really nice arrows. They're carbon arrows. I built them for them. All right, let's go get this bow assembled. Okay. All right, locator pin, snap it in place. Alright, it's a nice tight fit in the locator pin. Okay. It's a nice tool to give you. They give you the tool with the rounded end on it so it won't booger up your threads in here, which is nice. Alright. Done. Okay. You don't want to make these too tight. Just put them in there, snug it, and do about a quarter turn, snug them down. If you do it too tight, it'll crease the limb here, and you don't want to do that. So, okay, let's do the bottom limb now. There's a bottom limb. Again, find that locator pin hole in the locator pin, line them up, and hold it in place and drop it in there. You can also tell the lower from the upper because the way they got it cut. The lower limb's cut like a point, that's cut like in the corner on the top end cut out, so you can't get them mixed up. And again, all I can see, it looks almost identical to a standard Black Hunter. I have another SinoArt which I'll get out here in a minute. We'll compare it. But this is, from what I was reading about it, the only difference on this bow is there's a little bit different design to the riser. Instead of having a medium grip like this, like my regular Black Hunter, this is more of a higher grip, and it has maple core instead of bamboo core. All right, I don't know why they would go to bamboo core, but I mean go with maple core or bamboo core, but it's something that they've made a choice on. And SinoArt makes a pretty nice bow. I like the way their bows are, so they do a really good finishing job on them, and it is diamond wood. All right. Go get this thing strung up. Remember, you got two different loops here. You got a small loop and a large loop, which your small loop will go onto the bottom. All right, so first thing you want to do is you want to put the top loop on. Slides on like this. The very first thing, slide the top loop on. And then what you want to do is you want to put about 4 or 5 twists in this bow. I'll put about 5 in there. Okay, and you add the bottom string to it. So you got 5 twists in there. Then add the bottom. Be sure the string is in the nock grooves on your nock end, and take your cup. It's a cup right here, and slide it over that bow. Okay, just like that. Alright, then we're going to take your other end, which is the loop end, which is right here, that slides over the bow this way. You want to slide it past your string, okay? Like this. And then we'll get it strung up. Okay, string it up real quick. Okay, the way you string this bow, I want to show you, so you'll see here. Put your top to the top right behind the string here. Just go ahead and step on it. About shoulder width apart. What you do is you want to pull up on the bow and slide your string as you do. At the same time you pull up on the bow, slide your string. Okay? That locks it in. Be sure it's locked into both grooves and you're good. Okay? Perfect. Alright? Okay, now that the bow is strung up, we want to go and get the rest of the bow set up, okay? Alright. So first thing I want to do is set my nock point. Alright, and we'll set our nock point first. You're going to need your this and your nocks. Nocking pliers, okay? Also want to check your brace height. Should be between 7 and 8 inches. This bow comes in at 7.5, which is perfect. Okay. You want to go ahead and get your rest ready too. Now this is a hair rest, okay, which I don't like these hair rests, so I'm not going to put this up. I'm going to put a regular shelf rest on here for him. So let's do that. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and prep this rest now. Okay, you need some denatured alcohol, which is right here. You want to clean that rest up. Okay, cleaned up really good. I'm gonna use this leather rest for him, which is she'll fit just like this. Okay. Get peeled off. I don't like the hair rests too much. These leather rests work much better. And they hold up, they actually look good, and they work really well for the bow. Okay. And this being a radius rest, it should work just fine on there like that. There you go, the rest is on there now. Okay. Let's go ahead and set our nock point up. I'm going to knock this. Comes with 2 nocks, which are nice. There we go. Alright. Here's the nock. Get our nock pliers. Okay, I'm going to tune this bow for the arrows I made for him. But you'll see that in part 2 of the range session. We're going to tune this bow with these arrows that I made for him. I made up a custom set arrows. They're going to be 700 spine. They're going to be graphite, or not graphite, I'm sorry, carbon arrows. They're going to have green feathers and green fletchings on them, and a green, fluorescent green arrow wrap on them. So I'm building those right now. That's what we'll test this bow with. I use a 700 spine because they're good up to about 30-32 pounds. So that should be perfect for this bow. Alright. Alright, there's that, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and set his string silencers up as well next. Let's first just check the draw weight on this bow. Alright. I'm not sure what his draw length is, but this should be 30 pounds at 20 inches, so I'll check it with my handheld scale first at my draw length, and then I'll take it back to my tiller machine and check it on my tiller machine, see how accurate it is, okay? So these things here. Oh man, I forgot how easy a 30-pound bow is to pull. Just feel like nothing, but yeah. And my draw length is pulling about 34 pounds, so let's see what it is on my tiller machine. Okay, in the tiller machine, this bow comes out to 31 pounds, right at 31 pounds. Just a little bit over the 30-pound draw length. So it's 31 pounds at 28 inches. So let's go ahead and install the these rabbit fur silencers on here. Okay, let's go ahead and install these fur silencers. These are rabbit fur, by the way, just so you know, the rabbit fur. And they're pretty easy to install. I'll show you a quick way to do it. You got to unstring the bow first. And I try to come down from the bow, probably, you can see that, probably about 8 inches, 8 to 10 inches. So I'm going to try to keep them. If you look at your serving here, go from your nock, if you go just basically the width of your finger here like this, that's about where you want it at, okay? The width of your finger, which is about 8 inches. And we're going to put it right here. Now what we do here, is you separate the strands the best you can evenly on each side. So count them. This is an 18 strand string, so we want to be sure we get 9 strands on each side. Alright, which is pretty simple. There we go, 9 strands, okay? Alright, good. I had lost it. Alright, here we go. Alright, got it now, okay? So now it's evenly separated. Take you a pencil and stick in there. Alright. Now what I also do is I take my rabbit fur, okay, you see it's got a little leather strip on the back of it, on both of these. You want the fur when you wrap it to be facing, the furry part facing towards your nock. So you got to wrap it this way. So you'll take this and you'll slide this into here. Take a little bit of super glue, this is standard super glue here. I put a little bit of drop of super glue on that. Not a lot, you see the little drop. Okay. Now once I get that on there, I take my leather and I just fold it over and attach it right there and hold it for a few seconds. That'll glue the first end in place, okay? Now we got to restring our bow and wrap it. Okay. Now with the pencil in here and the string, that leaves the opening there. Just take your wrap. Remember, once your fur facing your nock, and just start wrapping. Just like that. Just keep wrapping just like this. You want to try to keep it tight. Bring your thing down, and when you get to the end, it's kind of hard to show this on camera, but when you get to the end, you want to feed this other end, it's this last end coming through here, you want to feed it back through the string. Okay, get it fed back through the string there. Okay, now it's fed back through your string. It's really hard to see this on camera, I know. Okay. Once it's fed through there, pull your pencil out. Okay. And where the end is piece of right there, you want to put a little drop of super glue on there. Okay. You want to attach it back to itself. A little drop of super glue, then run it back and attach it right back to itself and hold it in place, just like that. Okay. And then that's good. And once you pop that, it'll straighten out pretty nicely for you. Do the same thing on the top end. Got to unstring the bow first. Okay. You want to take your pencil, drop your pencil in. I use a little clip, white clip, close clip to hold it in place. That way the pencil don't fall out while you're trying to do this, and restring it. Okay. Now the bow's restrung. Okay, take the clip off. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to take this bow, slide this pencil down. We're just going to wrap this. Wrap it tight so it stays tight. Be sure you don't twist it. Be sure when you wrap it, it stays the right way. Okay, and once you get that done, you want to slide this in through like that. Okay, pull your pencil out. Now the same thing that's in there. That little end that you got pulled out right here. There's a little leather end right here. Same thing, take you a little drop of glue. See that? A little drop of glue. Okay, and fold it back on itself on that piece of leather and hold it there. And then that's ready to go, okay? Alright, let's do a comparison on the Mark II SinoArt and the Mark I SinoArt, okay? Right off the bat, I'm looking at the Mark II right now, which is this one here. I can see the riser like a little bit shorter, okay? So the riser on the Mark II, and I say a little bit shorter, it comes in at 14.5 inches, okay? Now the riser on the Mark I comes in at 15 inches. So this riser is a ½ inch longer than this riser, okay? Secondly, the sight window on the Mark II is 3 inches. The sight window on the Mark I is 3.5 inches. So the sight window is a little bit bigger on the Mark I, okay? Okay, the Mark II has a single layer of maple core, okay? It's a single layer maple core in here, all right? The standard Mark I, the first one that came out of this one, is going to be 2 layers of bamboo, okay? Now that might have something to do with this being a 40-pound bow and this being a 30-pound bow. A 30-pound bow only has 1 layer of maple in the core, and the 40-pound has 2 layers of bamboo. Now this is a 40-pound bow. It may well have 2 layers of maple in it, but I'm not sure I have a 40-pound one to compare it. Okay, let's look at the other comparisons on it. As you can see, if you look at here, the Mark I it's a bigger riser. It's got more of a recess to it. This is more a straight riser, okay? This has a medium grip. This has some of the high grip to it. Looks like the limbs are cut the same. There's no difference there. They should interchange, okay? They both have the plastic spacer on them, all right? Let's see what we got. Both the nock ends are identical, okay? As you can see here. Other than that, the only big difference I can see is the maple core limbs, and the riser is a little bit shorter on the Mark II. Other than that, they're pretty much identical, and the limbs will swap out. All right. I have seen some Mark IIs, not made by SinoArt, but other made. Cause, I mean, these are made in China, and they really don't have any patent laws there, so they just pretty much all make the same thing. There's another one out there, the Mandarin Duck, that I've seen on YouTube. There's a Mark II, and the limbs on the Mark II are squared off. Which I don't think that looks that good, because you see the big square sticking off the edge. You can do a search on Mark II Mandarin Duck if you want to check it out. One other YouTubers did that. I might order one of those in just to check it out, but I mean, I didn't like those. I like the way the limbs are here, where they're cut on a point here and a point here. It just looks better. That way you can't get your upper or lower limb mixed up. But other than that, they're pretty much identical other than that, except for a shorter riser, shorter sight window, and maple core. All right. Okay, well, that's the comparison of the Mark I SinoArt Black Hunter to the Mark II SinoArt Black Hunter. Okay, I want to thank you guys for watching. Okay. Oh, I did promise you I'd show you what kind of arrows I'm going to build for this. So I did tell you I was going to show you the kind of arrow I'm going to build for this bow. This is not the ones for this bow, but it's going to be a very similar arrow to this. This is actually a 700 spine arrow. I built it for another customer of mine. He's got a one-piece 30-pound longbow he wanted me to build arrows for. So, but he wanted white and 1 brown cock feather with a fluorescent red wrap on it. But basically, these are the same exact I'm going to build for this bow for RJ. It's going to be 30 inches long, just like this, black carbon. It's going to be a green fluorescent wrap here, green feathers, and a barred cock feather green. Okay, but they're both going to be the same. I'm building those now, so if I get them built by the time we get to the range part of this, I'll test them. If not, we'll use these arrows to test them with. But basically, they're the same arrows, same spine, same weight. The ones I'm building for RJ will be both on the same basic arrow, which is 700 spine arrow, 4-inch shield cut feathers. Okay, his arrows are going to be green fluorescent wrap with 2 green feathers and 1 green bar feather. It'll be the only difference. Otherwise, the arrows going to be identical. These arrows come in between 370 and 390 grains once they're fully built. They'll use an 80 grain point on them. Okay, so that's what we're going to shoot out of this. We'll give this bow probably right around 11 to 12 grains per draw weight, per pound of draw weight. I'll see if I can round up some lighter arrows, some 10 grain per pound of draw weight, some 300 grain arrows. I might have to make some up just to see what it'll do to compare to other ones. Most of my bows are tested at 10 pounds per draw weight, and I really haven't shot something as low as a 30-pound bow yet. So I might have to make a couple of special arrows up for it to do 10 grains per pound of draw to make a 300 grain arrow. But these arrows are going to come between 370 and 380 grains when they're built, okay? And they are carbon, 700 spine. Okay, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, click that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Also, click that bell next subscription icon. That way I can notify you of upcoming videos. I got a lot of cool stuff coming out in the next few weeks. I got a lot of good hunting videos coming out. If you're not part of my Patreon channel, there'll be a link down in the description to my Patreon channel. Please go over there and show me your support. All the money you get from that Patreon channel goes to purchase these bows and do these reviews for you and go on these hunting trips that I'm going to do. And only on my Patreon channel will you be able to see the hunting trips I'm going to go on. I'm going on a Milk River, Montana trophy whitetail hunt. These are whitetails in the 150 to 170 range. I'm going to be going to Utah in October for a elk hunt, spot and stalk elk hunt out in the mountains of Utah. And then I'm also going later on this year to Texas for a wild boar hunt with a bow. And all those hunts will be on my Patreon channel. They won't be on my YouTube, they'll be on my Patreon channel. So if you want to see those, check them out. They're all going to be shot with longbow, traditional equipment, wood arrows, the whole 9 yards. All right. Also, if you really like this video, share it with your friends and leave me some comments down below. I'd love to read your comments on these. If something you want me to try out, let me know. I'll try to get it and try it out for you, review it for you. And I just want to thank you guys for your support. My channel is growing. I want to thank everybody for their support. You've been really wonderful, and I look forward to doing a lot more of these videos for you. All right, until next time, guys, this has been part 1 of the Mark II SinoArt Black Hunter bow, 30 pounds at 60 inches, okay? AMO rate, 30 pounds at 28 inches. Remember, this bow I'm doing for one of my customers, RJ. So another shout out to RJ. You said you wanted to see your bow reviewed on my channel. I'll be reviewing it now, so look for part 2 coming out. That'll be the range session. All right, until next time, guys, this has been Todd, All Things Archery and Shooting. Ciao.